Hey guys, so today we're gonna introduce to you a flaw in Intel system, in a modern system actually, which is called the meltdown. Well, to start off with, we have to introduce to you something about history. Well, in the early 2018, Meltdown and his brother, the Spectre, are two of the most dangerous flaw in the system because these two security holes are very dangerous because they're difficult to detect, and more importantly, they affect all the electronic devices using Intel processor chips manufactured from 1995 till now. So to help you guys understand more clearly about what is the meltdown attack works, I will go through about this simple example. Okay, let's go through this space. Okay. Okay. So let's see this simple code line I'll put in here. If A equal 1, do something. Else, if A equal to, do something else. So, so how does the meltdown work? Well, basically, logically, when we do these equations, if A equal 1, do something, we have to wait until this equation is complete to see whether A equal to 1 or to 2 or not. Then we will decide what will happen next, right? No, that's not how our computer works. The way it works is it will predict, or we usually call it was the speculative executions, which means it will store the beforehand result in the data in the cache. Then after it store all the possibility in the cache, it will come back later and do the equations. So at that time, it will see that if that, well, conditions is right or not. That's how a computer works. And why does it have to store all the data in the cache? Well, because the cache stores the data in order for you to use it again in the future for faster. And that's why the reasons, that's the flaw right there that we not expected. Well, but this is how the meltdown flaw work. So just imagine that you have a secure data and you don't want anyone to go there. So what can you do? You will say that, okay, if A equal admin, then can go through. If not, do nothing, right? So before this things happens, to see if A equal to admin or not, the computer will actually do this first, then store the data into the cache. For example, this is your password here, and it's stored into the cache right before this happened. So that means that your data has been leaked out unconsciously without your knowledge. So that's the first thing we know about this flaw. Second, where the data go? They go into the cache, and the speed of reading from the cache is faster 200 times than reading from the memories. We know that, and so do the attackers does. So what do? They will read all the cache in our memory and see that, okay, so from this specific cache, the speed of it is faster than anyone else. Okay, although this data does not allow to go through these actions, but it still stored the data into that cache. And the attackers just read from the cache and see that, oh, this cache makes the speed faster. So this has to be the one that's safe from before. So that's why they would go there, see, to take all the secret we can get from behind. Okay, as you can see here, what we call the kernel data, the kernel mode. Well, the kernel mode is something we will, well, I will say it will control everything in secret of us, okay? So the aim of this is that we have several tasks in this lab to understand how this Meltdown attack really work. Okay, so on the first task, you can see here, we are comparing the speed of reading from the cache and reading from the direct memory. And the result, well, reading from cache is way faster than reading from the memory. So this demo will give you the real-time experience of how you can do an actual meltdown attack. Well, starting from comparing the speed of reading from the cache and reading from the memory, continue to practice put a secret in the beforehand space positions, then you can try to extract it directly, or you can use some technique to extract it using the Meltdown Attack technique. Well, as starting from task 1 to task 8, this will lead you to the actual Meltdown Attack. So that's how the Meltdown Attack works. It will lead to the false things from the executions. And so how are we going to stop it? So how are we going to prevent this thing? Well, after discussed, we'll see some potential things we can do about this. Well, and one of those, as you can see here, change the serial affected by the vulnerability into, well, inventory. Well, things that we will create a detailed inventory that we can store all the data there. But the drawbacks of that is that sometimes we do something and we always have to go to the kernel system. For example, printing a paper or access to the printers, for example. And this is not as good as I expected. And then we will keep our system updated to the newest update of the system. Because of that, I think that's all we can do for now and hope for the best. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for listening.